Well, welcome to another edition of Celebrity Chat. Today I'm back in the theater with our incredible Second City cast. Welcome, my Second City friends.
Hello,
Shona. This cast has been on board the ship and will be for the entire cruise. And I know some of you are thinking, what is the Second City? Maybe I've heard about it. I'm going to start right here with you, Daniel. You are a company manager here on board.
That's right.
The Second City, how would people know what the Second City is?
Well, the Second City is a theater in Chicago. Opened up in 1959, and it's basically the premier home for improvisation and sketch comedy. You've probably heard of tons of the alumni who've come out of the Second City: Stephen Colbert, Steve Carell, Tina Fey. That'd be more recently. Also, you know, Bill Murray, right. Harold Ramis.
Heard of them?
DJ Strong.
DJ Strong over here has obviously come out of the Second City. But it is a theater in Chicago, and like I said, I would say the nation's top place to see sketch and improv comedy.
All right, now sketch and improv comedy, it's totally different from the stand-up stuff. Cecily, I'll come to you with this. What made you get into the improv side of comedy?
Well, I started out as a very serious actress in Chicago. I did theater my whole life, did a lot of Chicago theater. And then in college, I would start doing what I thought was drama and people were laughing. And then my teacher was like, you know, you really ought to you belong doing at the Groundlings, which was in LA. So I did some classes at the Groundlings, moved back to Chicago to do this.
So you're originally from Chicago, but then went to LA to pursue the acting.
Well, I went to school there.
Okay.
I got my Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theater. As I said, I was a very serious actress.
Bravo.
Laurence Olivier, kind of that vein. Yeah. So then I went, you said it all. I went back and did this. And
Fantastic. And how long have you been with Second City?
This is my first contract with the Second City. My first cruise, too.
Now, has everyone, Joe, I know he's our music man here on board, and you're like the backbone or the spine, Alex, as you would like to say, of making the shows run here in the theater and as well as in our scriptless shows. And you have done many
He's
contracts.
the veteran.
This,
the veteran.
I believe, is my 12th contract on an NCO
And his
ship.
best one.
12th and best.
They all get that.
Well, and that's fabulous. And you're the music man. And do you have your background is totally music? Do you do improv? Like, are you an actor as well?
Yes, I do a little bit of everything. My education was in music composition, and I started playing for the theater in Detroit. Second City had a location in Detroit in the mid-'90s, and I was there for a while before touring with the companies out of Chicago, and then coming here.
Fantastic. So you're the veteran. Now, does Second City offers like schooling or classes? Like, do you have to graduate from like the Second City?
I think we've all.
You've all done it. All taken the classes.
Yeah, we've all been through.
You know, you don't necessarily have to have graduated from the conservatory to do this job, but they like their people who they're going to hire to have done the training there. It's not a requirement.
What are the trainings like? Like, what do you go to school
great.
to learn how to be witty and funny? Like,
It's basically like learning how to become a kid again. It was a blast. I had originally started taking classes because I was an actor out of LA, and I found this to be the one positive thing in a world of a lot of no. And in improvisation, a basic rule is yes. So this was an arena that was very positive, and people were supporting each other. And basically, it was a once-a-week chance to go and have a lot of fun. Turns out we were learning too.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, look at us.
What are the odds?
It's like a big club for nerds.
It is.
Right.
It is. And I was going to say, Alex and I actually went through the training together in Chicago.
Okay.
We both went through the Second City. Oh, come on, man. The camera's on. Second City Conservatory program together, which,
Camera.
like Jameson was saying, was a blast. You know, we went in, we would take classes, and I mean, it's like anything else. It's a skill. You get better at it the more you do it.
A lot of times after our shows, people say, how do you think so quick on your feet? And a lot of these games are designed to make you think quicker on your feet and put ideas in your head in a quicker fashion.
And we're trained to just pretty much the first thing that comes into our head, just put it out there.
Can we give a little shout out to Gelman?
Michael
Hello,
Gelman.
Gelman.
If you're watching this.
Thank you.
One of our teachers.
One of our teachers from the conservatory.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. Now, did you guys start off in the acting process too, or did you ever think of
I'm
stand-up?
a terrible actor.
Oh, okay.
Stand up.
I do stand up
Alex does stand-up.
back in Chicago.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more alternative stand up, so it's not like straight ahead, like, hey, what's the deal with my mother-in-law? Am I right? Which is a great joke, but I do that in Chicago and then also improv and sketch, obviously. So.
And did you start off acting-wise too, or did you just kind of go?
I started off in straight acting, straight
Okay.
theater. I went to the University of Michigan. What up, go blue? the University of Michigan for theater, and was there for 4 years doing pretty much straight plays. I did get involved in the improv group on campus there, a group called Wits End, and that's when I really started getting. I'd been improvising in high school a little bit. That was when I really started getting into it. And when I went to an improv festival in North Carolina when I was a sophomore in college, and that was when I really thought that this might be what I wanted to do, and ended up putting more time into it. And when I got out of school, saying that I wanted to be in Chicago doing this. So, but I did start out, yes, with straight theater as well.
Very cool. So you have like the acting background, and then you're like, I can be witty and funny and working on the
back in
improv.
LA,
so.
I'm a plastic surgeon.
Are you?
I just do this for fun.
And I'm his
He was
best
born
client.
female.
Yeah. I do a lot of work on myself first.
Fantastic.
I
Well,
tell you,
thank
you
for
can't
that.
get these kids to behave.
No,
Am
I know.
I right?
Oh man.
And I always get people sometimes don't understand. Second City is the one big entity that people have known for 50 plus years, that's been able to give improv comedians a name. And the first show that comes to my mind is Saturday Night Live, because that's and I know SCTV was at one time the way to go as well.
Well,
if we
in
go-
fact, a bunch of Chicago actors just got hired to this season of Saturday Night Live. We
Yeah.
had two
Really?
hired as writers, and then two
as actors.
were hired as actors.
So not only can you go into the acting side, which you do now, and the music side, but you can also do the writing side as well.
Right. A
too.
lot of Second
That's part of the
City-
training.
Yeah, they go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of performers who go into writing for Conan, for Colbert,
Yep.
for
In fact, the
Daily
whole
Show.
conservatory program is geared toward, when you get to the last level, putting together your own sketch comedy show and using improv to write sketch.
Now I know I've had some conversations with some of you before, but I love these stories of what we see on the main stage show. When you open your show, which is the first time we see you, it is written, it's scripted comedy of sorts. But who are the writers of some of these sketches? Aren't they some of the big names
They
that
are.
we would know?
Brian Gallivan wrote a lot of the sketches in our show. He does the sassy gay friend sketches. He's
are a big
all
hit on
over
YouTube right now.
So
And he has a role in the movie The Informant with Matt Damon.
Hello.
Actually,
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't think he's a speaking role, but he's in that movie.
And when
so.
you learn the sketch, or when you learn the scripted stuff, aren't they in the original characters' names as well?
Usually.
So you're
Yeah.
taking
A lot
the
of times.
role of
Usually.
Tina Fey, or you're taking
Yeah.
the role of I think that's just
Frank
so cool.
Frank
Yeah.
Coyetti, who was on Mad TV,
Yep.
wrote one of the sketches that's in there with his partner Matt Craig.
Yeah,
Just says Frank
actually-
and Matt.
The Dirty Baghdad scene where
Oh, yeah.
there's
Alright.
some Dirty Dancing tributes. That was written by a guy named Jason Sudeikis, who is currently on SNL.
And 30 Rock as well. He's had a
Yep.
while on 30 Rock.
It's a pretty wild experience to pick up your script and see names like this and say,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to be reading this part. That's pretty humbling and honoring, a real honor.
Did we miss any?
And when we say we wrote it, we were not meaning that they sat down and wrote it like a playwright would write, but they wrote it, developed it through improvisation with their partners, and then re-improvised and refined it until it was how it is now.
Yeah, fantastic. And their show, you guys' show, is one of the funniest and well put together shows I've seen from a cast, and just an
Thanks.
awesome job.
Thank you very
Where
much.
do you guys hope to go? Like, I mean, after you guys are here for 4 months at a time, and then what do you hope comes in store for you next? Do you hope to be a Saturday Night Live character? Do you want to be a writer? Do you?
Well, if you're watching Ship TV, I hope to be Dr. Ray one day. Dr. 90210, plastic
Plastic
surgeon.
surgeon.
Oh, from E on Ship TV. Yeah.
No, joking. You know, what's unique about this, a lot of people and a lot of contracts on the ship, people go from contract to contract. And
Right.
what's unique about our contracts is, for all intents and purposes, this is a 4-month gig for us. And for a lot of us, this will be over and we'll go back to our normal lives. Or for some of us, we may do other contracts. But for some of us, we might just go back to our normal lives after this and hit superstardom.
But normal
and-
lives still involve
Still-
comedy of some sort.
Yes.
Getting
Yeah.
Our kind
involved
of
and-
normal.
I mean, I would like to eventually be writing and acting in Hollywood.
Okay.
That would be an eventual long-term goal. I mean, seeing as how this is my first contract with Second City, I personally would like to continue to work with them and hopefully build a bit more of a future there before I go anywhere else. But if we're talking, why not shoot for the moon? Writing and acting in Hollywood would be really great.
Well, I know one cool thing with Second City as well is they have their theaters in Toronto, in Chicago, LA,
We have a training center.
a training center in LA,
They
Vegas.
do regional
Not anymore.
shows.
Okay, but they also do, and they roam around. You can be on a touring company with them,
That's
and
right.
they go
Right.
all over the U.S. as well. So, I mean, there's so many different options that you can have with the Second City. That's probably why so many folks recognize the name. They're like, how would I know them?
We're all genuinely passionate about the Second City and very honored, like I was saying before, to work for them. And what's cool about this experience is that it's one more level up on the ladder in Second City. So it's really an honor for us.
So if you like the show, write our bosses.
Yeah, well, they have, okay, so let's speak about shows right now. You have the show in the main theater, which they'll see here once this cruise, and then you also will have some scriptless shows. Now, the difference between the scripted and the scriptless, Cecily, what's...
There's a script involved in the scripted show and not a script in scriptless.
That's
so
right.
How do you come up
So
with the ideas?
Nailed
We'll
it.
be improvising
Here's
the whole
a
thing
treat.
for the script for the scriptless
So
show.
how do you come up with the ideas for the scriptless shows?
They are, well, we get audience suggestions.
Thank
That's
you.
what you're looking for.
Yes.
In our brains, in our audience suggestion.
Yes, you have to
So-
heavily rely on the audience to give
Very
you
heavily.
Right.
the information and stuff.
The audience has
100%
to
of the
be funny.
material is made up. We don't talk about it before. We don't say, hey, let's do a scene about lobsters in Barbados. We make it all up based on suggestions.
I would
from
love
the
to.
Yeah, write that down. Lobsters
I
in
would love
Barbados.
to.
You may see
But
that
you
if
won't
you're
see that
lucky.
at the scriptless show. Yeah, everything is made up completely on the spot. We have a bunch of different fun games that we play, and we do come to the audience many times during the show.
Sometimes
for
we bring the
suggestions.
audience on stage.
That's right.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yes.
But don't be scared. Don't
don't
be
have to do
afraid. Yeah.
It's only people that want to come up.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
usually the people, and trust me, on a cruise, I've always noticed that people always want to get involved that are really
Yeah.
gung-ho
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it. You won't be like searching for someone to...
Right, and we don't humiliate anybody.
No.
Like a lot of
It's
times
not
people will be like, "Oh, you're gonna bring me on stage and make fun of me." I'm like, "No, why would I
No,
do
none
that?
of that.
That'd be terribly rude."
Yeah.
But they do also, you guys are also going to do a workshop throughout. So maybe you'll kind of
know
work
it.
with them to do some
Yeah.
fun little improv games and
And the
kinda
workshop is all the information you've just seen. So if you watch this,
We'll be
don't
playing this
come.
video.
No.
But you
Not-
get to do some games as well. Don't you kind of get to
Yeah.
work with them
Yeah,
on some different
absolutely.
fun games?
Jameson
that-
is kidding. There's
I'm
a lot of
joking, I'm
other
joking.
information that's at that workshop. We'll talk about some basic improv stuff, play a couple games with audience volunteers. It's a lot of fun.
It's fun.
Oh, well, excellent, you guys. I can't thank you enough for so much for your time and coming out here, and I'm excited to see your show in the theater.
Thank you,
I have
Shona.
seen it. It's fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, again, make sure to come and check out the Second City shows, all their activities, their scriptless shows in the Spinnaker. It's just going to be an awesome week. When you see them around, make sure to say hey. Anyway, have a great day, and hope you enjoyed Celebrity Chat.
Hi, Mom.